Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm outside the Four Seasons in Palo Alto, California. Dinner is getting ready just behind me. And what else is behind me is a 2022 Hyundai Santa Cruz sport adventure vehicle. Today we're going to take it through the Redwoods and have some fun with it. Now before we head up into the mountains, the Redwood forests and all that jazz, we're going to take a walk around of the stone blue, or the blue stone color. It is gorgeous. It's kind of like this soft pastel blue color. It's pretty. Now down below we have the 20-inch optional wheels, but you guys, if you wanted the smaller wheels, those also look really good. You know, oftentimes I'm disappointed with the base wheels, but not on this Santa Cruz. They look really good as well. Now the front should look similar. It should look like the Tucson, except a little bit more meatier, a little bit more tough. We got some black chrome metallic on the front. Daytime running lights are looking pretty sick. And then those are the nighttime lights right there. And as we, walk back, you can see the strong lines on the hood to give it a little bit more masculinity, a little bit more aggressiveness, more adventureness to its nature. And yeah, you can just see the sun hitting this stone blue, or blue stone. It's a really good looking color. Almost like a robin's egg blue with a little bit of sparkle in it. Now this is, like I said, this is the limited, this is the top of the line. You see a camera there on the mirror. That is for the 360 camera, which is very sharp in this vehicle, just like many other Hyundai products. Now, to get in the back, this is where the business is. Business in the front, we're party in the back. You know, it's almost like a reverse mullet. The Santa Cruz is more like, party in the front and business in the back. And the business in the back is all about the tailgate area, its practicality, and yeah, the rear looks real good. There's no exhaust tips really sticking out, just got a little one down there. But Santa Cruz stamped into the tailgate. We got some more dark chrome with the Hyundai logo on it, looking very fancy. But we're gonna flop this down, and it is soft close. So if you guys are wondering, it's now officially open. I meant soft open. This is not so much soft close though. So you just push this, and it closes itself. It's not quite as quiet as the tailgate here, but underneath, this is where you guys can store your cooler, or should I say, put your cooler items in here. Here's your drain plug. These lights shine down below into your cooler area, and it's also lockable. So that is nice to keep that, keep your beverages cold. Inside here is a power outlet, and those are movable cleats for you guys to adjust for your cargo. Now this can fit a whole bunch of stuff in here. Use your imagination. It's a 4.3 foot bed. And if you put some things diagonal into it, you can get, I've seen you can actually get a motorbike in the back. Now, if you guys want to know how to close it, you just pull this, voila, and then you flip this back up. The tailgate is very light. Now getting onto the interior, it's typical Hyundai. Now this is limited, so it has the leather, and it's pretty. But as we get in, it's typical Hyundai, which means that's a very good thing, because Hyundai makes great interiors. The door slam is like a luxury car. Everything's touch sensitive in here. So that is a pro and a con. It's a very clean looking surface, but you can see me in the reflection. It's very reflective, and fingerprints are going to collect on there. This has the large 10-inch screen, touchscreen. We also have a 10-inch screen behind the steering wheel. To me, it looks smaller than this 10-inch screen. So to me, it looks like an 8-inch screen, but I believe Hyundai calls it a 10-inch screen. Now, the steering wheel is excellent. Leather wrapped all the way around. It is heated. All your safety features you can use through here. Your lane keep and things like that. Lane departure alert, radar cruise control, which is available. It's not standard radar cruise control. Anyways, these are standard in the limited. Ventilated heated seats, heated steering wheel for both passengers, the heated and ventilated seats. Here are your charging ports up front. Don't know if you guys can see that back there. The shifter, I love the traditional shifter. Instead of a push button like you see on other Hyundai products, here's your push button start. And then Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is standard wireless in here. The trim is cloth, which is going to be durable. Very slim looking fan design. You have tiny porous holes. I don't know if you see that. You have little tiny holes in there which help with airflow in addition to the traditional vents on the edge. Now this one has the sunroof, which is not standard, but you can get it on, I believe, the SEL Adventure Activity, I think it was what it is, SEL Activity and above trims. Now before we get into the back, these seats fold down 60/40, or should I say fold up 60/40. So your jack is over there, your spare tire is underneath the bed in the back, and we're gonna get in the back here and you're gonna see that it is pretty tight. Close the door. It's a very tight situation back here. My knees are into the chair. This is set up for me at 6'1", and my knees are gently resting against the back. So 6 foot in front and 6 foot in the back is about the most you're going to be able to stretch the limits of this vehicle. Now, if you have shorter people or kids, it should be just fine. Dual USBs back here, and then dual vents to keep your passengers nice and cool. There is no armrest, unfortunately, but we do have this little vent here, sliding window. One of the smallest windows I've seen on the pickup truck, but there you have it. There's the interior of the Hyundai Santa Cruz, and let's get on the highway. We're out here up to speed on the highway in the Santa Cruz, and it's pretty darn quiet. The road noise isn't very noticeable. You hear a little bit of wind noise, but the visibility for a pickup truck, as you would expect, it's pretty good. And you know, the sunroof is letting in the light. It's actually a pretty well riding pickup truck for highways. Even with these 20-inch wheels, it's still a pretty smooth, quiet driving experience. And we're gonna pass this Honda Civic in front of us with a ridiculous spoiler and try out this 2.5 liter turbo. Yeah, I mean, that was maybe half throttle, and it just easily merges into the traffic to get you up to speed. And yeah, you know, the 280 horsepower or so is like gravy. This vehicle, I think most people are not going to need that sort of power unless they really need to tow that 5,000 pounds. But yeah, out here on the highway, it is a little bit breezy on the windows, but it is a very nice riding, and you have good height as well. I feel like I'm sitting up pretty high and good visibility overall. Now I got this top of the line limited, which has stop and start radar cruise control, and I just merged over and I went from about 70 miles per hour to 57, and now it's accelerating back up again. I didn't touch the brakes or the gas pedal at all, so that works really well in here. The lane centering, we're going over a left turn, hands off the steering wheel, which I don't recommend because it's not like it's self-driving, but it does a pretty good job. When it does see the lines, it does a good job making sure, and there's a blind spot monitor flashing, letting me know, and I do have that blind spot view monitor as well. So all the safety features makes it even a more enjoyable driving vehicle out here on the open road. And this is one of the reasons why, if you are interested in a pickup, you would get this vehicle, because it handles almost like a sedan as I fling it through these mountain windy roads. Like, it is so, I mean, the track is really wide on here. It's a wide vehicle, so that helps when you're in the corners, and it just easily just turns in and holds it. Like, it feels really light in the turns, and I'm going about, I don't know, 60 here, just flinging it through, accelerating. And yes, the roads are very clean here, very smooth baby bottom roads, but it just handles it so effortlessly. Like, I don't feel like I'm pushing the car actually that hard. It's just compliant. I feel like the Sienna in front of me is just gonna flop over, and that has to be super scary in that vehicle. But in this, it just feels like a hot knife through butter in these mountain roads. But I'll be quiet for a little bit and let you guys kind of enjoy the scenery and the capabilities of this pickup truck, or what Hyundai calls sport adventure vehicle. Isn't that savvy? Now that we can pass this RX hybrid here, so we do some aggressive cornering. Man, it's just so planted. You would not expect that in a pickup. Probably handles very similarly to the Tucson, you know, but it just doesn't seem like it should be able to handle this well, to be honest. And I was not expecting this vehicle to to do what it does in the turns. Like, it's, you know, just it doesn't really make sense for a pickup truck to handle this well. Let's get around this 4Runner, accelerate through this turn. And that's the advantages of something like this that's not body on frame like that 4Runner. That's going to feel like it's tipping over in the turns, because it's just the center of gravity is so much higher in that vehicle. And it's just, I cannot, like I said, I probably said like 10 times, I cannot believe how sport car like this thing handles in the turns. It's bringing a grin to my face, because it's just not computing very well. Pickup truck that handles twisties, I think most people agree that a pickup truck, as well as any car, but I feel like a pickup truck should especially be comfortable, and everything should be in the right place at the right time. And I do feel like this cabin is very accommodating. I have a very soft armrest on the door, and that leads my hand straight into the steering wheel. So it's real easy for me to just drive around with a couple fingers at a time in a leisurely position. Now, the other arm on the center console here, but the shifter, my hand just rests on the shifter. So I love that. Now, what Hyundai's done with the center stack here is make it super accessible. So much with touchscreens that you have to lean forward and reach. I mean, the last Genesis Hyundai product I was in was the GV80, and you really had to reach for that big touchscreen. This is literally like 2 inches away from where my arm sits, the touchscreen here. So I do like that, even though that this is touch capacitive, it's not the rotary dials, everything is just super close to my touch whenever I need it. So everything in here in terms of ergonomics and comfort is there. The seat comfort of this leather seat, which I'm in the limited, so of course it's gonna have a leather. It's really comfortable. Ventilation, I have it on the lowest setting and I can feel it through my jacket. So, I mean, it's a very, very accommodating, comfortable experience that I don't think you guys are gonna find many things to complain about in here. Underneath the hood of the Santa Cruz Limited, this has the more powerful engine option, which is the 2.5 liter turbocharged, direct and port fuel injected, capable of about 280 horsepower and over 310 pound-feet of torque. This thing is very capable, and I'm not going to be able to test it on these mountain roads, but what I did notice when I'm going through, let's say, a lot of downhill sequences, is that the car is smart enough to downshift and keep the revs higher to slow down the vehicle, so you don't have to brake as hard. And that is just safety management from Hyundai that they built into this vehicle. So that was pretty cool. Not that anyone's asking, but I do have the 0 to 60 trip up on, and we're gonna see how fast this 280 plus horsepower can get this little pickup truck to 60 miles per hour. Torque brake to about 2200 RPM and go. That was really strange. 0 to 60 in 5.71 seconds, which is very fast. Now, that looked straight to me. There is a possibility it could have been slight downhill, but that looked like the flattest piece of stretch I've seen in a very long time on this mountain sort of route I'm on. So 0 to 60 in 5.71 and 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.08. So why was that weird? Well, when I let off the gas, it didn't launch, just like kind of slowly rolled out. And then the torque built and then I was gone. But I felt like I wasted a second of just getting off the line. So this vehicle, if you know how to launch it better than that, which I'm sure someone will figure it out, we'll be able to get it probably in the mid to low fives, 0 to 60. But I got 5.71 0 to 60. That's faster than what I was expecting for this sport adventure vehicle. Now, fuel economy has been really good. Now, I've been on these mountain roads with lots of curvies, so I've just been maintaining speed, which is ideal for fuel economy. So I'm getting over 26 miles per gallon. I'm not going very quick. I would say 35 to 40 miles per hour on average. And I'll update you guys. I'll put in what my final fuel economy numbers when I'm all said and done driving. I don't think it's going to be quite as high as 26 miles per gallon. Mid to low 20s on average is what this vehicle is supposed to get, and I'm getting just a hair above that. And I want to test out this 8-speed dual clutch, which you can only get the 8-speed dual clutch with the more powerful turbo engine. If you get the non-turbo naturally aspirated engine, that is the 8-speed auto, which both of them are good. I've tested them in multiple Hyundai and Genesis products. And so I'm just going to hammer down around the corner here just a little bit, push it. It downshifts really quick, and I'm just in normal mode. And we're just going to have some fun here. We got a rare straightaway, and this thing has lots of power. Now you're able to tow 5,000 pounds with this turbocharged all-wheel drive model. Base towing capacity is 3,500 pounds. So of course that's braked with a trailer that's braked, but still in every single Santa Cruz is built-in sway control for your trailer. So that is nice to see. Now ride quality, it's a bit stiff in here, to be honest, which is okay when I'm taking around the turns, but I feel like it strikes a good balance. It is not going to feel like you're going over things like in a traditional body on frame where it feels like you run over the pavement, the impurities in the pavement. This vehicle feels like it soaks them up, and it does a pretty good job, but it is on the stiffer end. And maybe if you get the 18-inch wheels, you're going to have a little bit more tire to soak up the bumps and things like that, but these 20s should help if you have really nice roads and you like to push around the corners. The 20-inch wheels might be a better option for you. Now, no one's behind me, so we're going to slam on the brakes here. Oh, which the brakes are really good in here. I am a big sucker for a strong, linear, and progressive brake pedal, and this is really good in here. I'd give it like an A-. So the vehicle stops well, but more importantly, the pedal gives you a lot of feedback on how you're slowing down, and I really appreciate that. I was in the Genesis GV80 a few weeks ago, and I wasn't happy with that brake pedal. Here in this Hyundai Santa Cruz, a much cheaper Hyundai product, we get a much better, more confidence-inspiring brake pedal here. Oh gosh, that lady came out of nowhere. Oh my goodness. Whew. Yep, 2 hands on the wheel. Look at these beautiful roads. Holy moly. I feel like I'm in like a Star Wars movie, you know, Return of the Jedi. With the Ewok forest. Maybe that was filmed here, I don't know, but that's where I feel like I am, and it is really cool to drive through this ancient redwood forest in Silicon Valley, like California. Is this considered Silicon Valley? I don't know, I'm not from here. Curvy for the next 9 miles. Darn, good thing I'm in a vehicle that handles the curves really well. First impressions with this Santa Cruz, this all-new category sport adventure vehicle from Hyundai, I would say it's very impressive. Of course, the powertrain is impressive in a vehicle of this size with over 280 horsepower and just tons of torque whenever you want it. And this vehicle handles extremely well for the type of vehicle it is. You know, you wouldn't expect something with a bed to be able to handle the turns like this vehicle does. It just eats them up. And I think it looks really good. It's going to get people's attention. I mean, there's no doubt that it looks like a Tucson from the front, but that quickly changes as you get to the side and the rear of the vehicle. And I think the lights front and rear look great. The interior is typical Hyundai, which is a really good thing. You know, everything's very functional in here. Like I mentioned earlier, everything just feels like it's in the right spot. My arms rest in the right areas. It's easy to get to the places I need to touch and fiddle with. And the steering wheel is comfortable. The seats, these leather seats are comfortable, but you know, after spending several hours in them today, I wish it had, you know, like longer seats in the bottom, like a thigh extension or something, because at 6'1", they seem a little short after being in here for several hours. Now, I haven't shown you much in the back seat, really. I mean, I have sat back there behind my seat, and it's like minimal space. It's just maybe an inch between my knee and the back of the seat at best if I were to sit behind someone who's 6 feet tall. So that's kind of a letdown. I wish there was a little bit more leg space back there. It feels kind of like a compact crossover, or no, like a subcompact crossover in terms of leg room, or a very small sedan. So that's really one of the small outcomes of this shorter package. You know, Hyundai wanted to make this vehicle compact and tight, so it's easy to park, easy to maneuver, and they didn't want to have a long bed. You know, this bed's only 4.3 feet long, and it's going to be long enough for a lot of people. You know, it's big enough to fit mountain bikes. It's big enough to put a motorcycle diagonally in there. So I think it's big enough for most people's needs. But the fact that it is shorter keeps the package small, and I think that's a good thing, because it achieves a look and aesthetic with this small pickup design that I don't think I've ever seen before. It looks futuristic, and I think Hyundai hit it out of the park with the design of this vehicle. It looks good. The interior up front is great. It's a little cramped in the back, but hey, Hyundai gives you those rear USB chargers, so if you have kids back there, they're not going to care about legroom unless they're, you know, giant teenagers, which is definitely capable of happening. Not for me for a while. My kids are young, but I would not hesitate to throw my kids back in the back seat. There is quite a bit of legroom for shorter people. But thanks to you guys, I was able to go to Palo Alto, California, and head to Santa Cruz as well. Into Santa Cruz, that's a bit inception. And also drive through the Redwood forest. I mean, this is amazing. This is something that I dreamt about, you know, as a kid. So thank you guys for making my dream a reality. I'm just gonna pull over so this, you know, wise old motorcycle guy can fly on by with his beard. But yeah, just an amazing vehicle. And I hope this does well for Hyundai, because I enjoy the segment that they're creating with this. And you know, the Ford Maverick is really the only thing out there to directly compete with it. But guys, I'm going to end it there. If you enjoyed my coverage of the Hyundai Santa Cruz, smash the like button, subscribe for more Hyundai news, reviews, updates, trips like this. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.